Good morning, London town. Welcome to the Simply Greg Show. As you already know, the Simply Greg Show is all about elevating the mind and inspiring the community by spotlighting the hidden gems in the community. That's basically ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So that basically means every week we have an amazing guest who's basically been through a challenging situation or is making an impact within the community. Basically speak to us about the work that they're doing and how they can even reach out more people and make more of an impact. Today we've got an amazing guest just like no other. It's a pleasure to actually speak to this guy because I came in contact with this guy through an event that I was actually doing with Nike in partnership with Nike, and you know, it was a community event which he was able to attend with many other community groups as well in order to make the impact. And when I came in touch with him as well, it was just great. Like, we just hit it off from the get-go, and it's even a pleasure to actually have him here. His name is Ben Greed. I'm trying to do that voice. Greed. How you doing, Ben? You're right, yeah?
Really, really good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. And like you say, you're very inspiring yourself. So really, really appreciate you
thank
bringing
you
onto the platform.
Thank you. I know it just goes to show how weird life is sometimes. Like, I've met you like a few years ago because we've done the event twice, right? We've done it twice, and you was there like the first time around. The second time I saw you again, you was like, "Guy, Greg," like, yeah, you know. And then like, you never thought like years later on, I'd be like, you know what, like, you should come on the show, you know. And that's what I like about life. Is just like everyone just does what they're doing continuously, in momentum with whatever is according to your purpose, what is true to you. And what will happen in the right time, and you know, something will spark as well.
It's energy, isn't it? It's like energy attracts energy.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I picked up from you when I came in touch with you as well at the beginning. You know, you had all those kids there, and you was just like,
my squad, man.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously they're probably hearing me say a lot more, and they're like, "What is he talking about? What Nike event? What happened? Where?" Just give them a little bit of insight who you are, your journey, and obviously Activ8tion, which you was able to bring up, which is obviously a youth kind of coaching and empowerment kind of, you know, organization, a wellness kind of organization that is obviously helping health and wellness with kids in schools and within the community as well. But give them an insight of yourself, man.
So, Greg, before we go into it, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions.
Ooh.
Even for the people listening, I want you to think about this as well. And if you agree, say I agree.
Okay, cool.
So, wouldn't you agree that if children's health, fitness and wellbeing services were on the same platform as adult health, fitness and wellbeing services would really have an impact in reducing childhood obesity?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Reducing the high rise in mental health conditions. Yeah. Reducing the high rise in antisocial behaviour.
Yeah.
And giving our younger generations a solid foundations to feel more confident progressing life.
Wow. Yeah.
So the key to all this is I'm really, really fond of early intervention. That is the key to everything. So the sooner we can embed these foundations at an early age, the better impact we'll have in the future, right?
Wow. So you're addressing it, like you said, early intervention, way ahead of time.
Way ahead of time. Yeah, if we can embed these healthy routines into our children at an early age, it becomes second nature, right? Yeah.
So how did you even come upon like bringing Activ8tion into place? What was your journey that took you there?
So my journey, as Greg introduced, my name's Ben Green. I go by the name of the Activator.
Yeah. Sounds like Mr. Motivator, yeah. Am I going to see you with spandex and that? Like, yeah, go on. Activate, guys. Activate.
So I want to take you way back.
Okay.
To when I was in school. So in school, but primary school, I struggled academically. So I wasn't able to. I was able to read and write, but not as good as everyone else. I wasn't able to process things as quick as other children. That I stood out.
Because of that.
Because of that, and as you can imagine, I was very, very frustrated in because I wasn't doing so well, and I couldn't get my point across. I wasn't able to speak because I stuttered because I got so nervous.
Yeah. So you can't articulate yourself.
Couldn't articulate at all, and then obviously that behaviour come out physically. You know what I mean? It's quite destructive.
It's true.
Yeah. So going into year 7, coming to in the primary school, the head teacher had a meeting with mum and dad, and they said, right, I don't think Ben's going to manage in a mainstream. I have to go to an SEN school. Which now, when I reflect on, okay, I can understand that, but mum and dad went into mainstream. And from there, I was like introduced to loads of different sports through PE, and that was sort of like my channel. That was my
because
channel.
you said your physicality as well.
Physicality,
so
I was able to transfer that negative energy into something positive.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I had a really good, my PE teacher, he was like my mentor. He was like, my saviour really.
Yeah.
He sort of like put me on the right path, introduced me to loads of different sports, trained me up as badminton as my sport. So I played eventually played county level, played rugby, athletics, but it gave me discipline. It gave me self-worth. And through that, I was helping other kids in the school as well, training them up. You know what I mean? So that gave me purpose. And this is where my whole idea
started evolving.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when I left school, went to study in Holton College in Cheshire. Done my sport and exercise diploma. Come back. Done some youth work in a youth club in Rainham, in Royals. Big up Rainham Royals.
Yeah.
And I was there. I was sort of like helping. I was a part of the committee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just enjoyed helping people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my purpose. We discussed about purpose. My purpose is I'm here to help people, no matter how I do it. This is what I'm here to do.
And you use your gift to obviously be able to do that. And
that's it. So I was doing some sport, just mentoring and using sport coaching as well. So I'd done that for a while, and then went to Camp America. No, I'm going to take that back a bit more. Went into leisure management after I'd done my course. And I sort of lost vision of my goal.
Okay.
Because I think you get to the age of 18, 19, you want to start earning money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to start living a bit. So my sort of like my vision to helping young people sort of went out. It was there, still there. It was still there because when I was working in leisure, I was still doing kids clubs and stuff like doing a bit of badminton coaching, but it wasn't the passion. Reduced
it wasn't on fire.
Yeah. So when I was 19, 20.
Which was only yesterday, right?
It was only
just last year.
I wish. We was out with my friends on our way for a night out.
Yeah.
And we was involved in a major car accident.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So on the way to a club, and the car flipped.
Wow.
4 times. I had a massive head injury. So I still got quite a bit choked up talking about it. Cause it's still, even though it was so many years ago, it was quite fresh. And that was like I nearly died. So it was like a massive wake up call for me. Like, it's a sign, you know what I mean? Like you're here, like I've been given a second chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's like after recovering physically and I won't say I've recovered psychologically for it because I think it's still there. You know, but you have the strategies in place to deal with the traumas because that's why it's a traumatic event. It's trauma and that stays with you, but you learn how to manage it. So from there, I thought, right, I need to. Once I was recovered, I went to America and worked at CCUSA. That's like a company offers placements to people to go out in America to work. So I worked on the day camp in Ohio, and I started using my fitness and sport background again to engage children from disadvantaged backgrounds.
Yeah.
And then that spark reignited again.
Wow.
My wire come back up. You know what I mean? So and then from there, come back to the UK, signed up to my first degree in youth and community work. And then during that time, I'd done a work placement at a charity called Motivations Project they were based in Romford. And I was in charge of the health and fitness department sort of thing. So again, I was working with children who were disengaged in school. So they'll be sent there for 1 or 2 days just as like a vocational training. So yeah, like I said, I was in charge of the health, fitness and well-being element of that. And I was just making significant change to the young people. You know, behaviour was coming down. They were using like the fitness and exercise element as a strategy for themselves. You know what I mean? They use that when they become angry or heightened, when they're upset. They turn to the fitness and exercise. So eventually, I was at Motivations for nearly 7 years, and I become the operations manager.
Okay.
And it's just like a nationally recognised charity. So I was like really, really thankful for that. And during that time, I'd done my second degree in child and youth studies, and my dissertation was based on life coaching through exercise and the positive impacts this has on young people. And that was my thesis, become the foundations for Activ8.
Wow.
Because where I was obviously trialing at motivations. That was my idea. So we started off with 1 boot camp a week for children over the park. What my idea was, my vision for that is having all children welcome. Because what you'll find is you've got your neurotypical children and your children who are have neurodisabilities, so those with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, dyspraxia. So those who can't fully function in a mainstream setting, you know what I mean? So, but I brought them all together.
Wow.
Because I knew how to work with them. You know what I mean? Obviously, I've got skills in that area and obviously studied it. But you know, it was really, really nice to see, because you had these children who were fully functional, and they were understanding the children with neurodisabilities as well, which was really, really cool. And yeah, like the 1 boot camp turned into 2 boot camps a week. Wow. Then that turned.
Was this with the schools, or was this your own?
This was in the community.
Oh, just in the community. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then we turned it into family camps as well, because we want to embed it into the family. You know, we want to show the importance of exercise and family family teamwork as well. Yeah. So yeah, then we done adult camps. Then obviously the personal training element come in, and then from there we went into the educational sector, and then we started building wellbeing interventions. When we say interventions, we're intervening to improve lifestyle, or even those people who've got a good lifestyle, we can improve it even more. Even more. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, so from there we like I said, we went into the educational sector. We now operate across 7 different schools, nurseries. Wow.
Even nurseries as well. So you're intervening way before.
No, but this is what I mean.
That's crazy.
Early intervention. Early intervention.
That's what early intervention is.
And we was recognised. I mean, really, really, really.
Because that young baby G, he's gonna be a bad man later on. So you have to stop him.
No, that's it.
You have to stop him when he's free.
But they don't only. It becomes. This is the whole point. It becomes second nature.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The food they eat, the way they exercise, the communication, the leadership. It's all within our programs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we was fortunate enough in 2017. We was. If Sabrina, if you're listening to this, thank you, because she, Sabrina is my mentor. Sabrina Benson, big up Sabrina. She put Activ8 forward for a National Diversity Award.
Yeah.
And we got shortlisted for the award.
Oh wow!
And that is down to the communities.
Yeah, who
voting for us. And this was out of 22,000 organisations.
Wow.
22,000, and yeah. I've got goosebumps.
Oh my, literally.
Seriously, wow. And we took the award home at 22,000 organisations, and it's just crazy. It's crazy.
So let's get it. You won, right? So you won National Diversity Award. Wow, that's amazing.
But it's obviously it's my company, but it's like my sister there, Rebecca. Big up, Rebecca. And just my team. I've got a solid team there as well. But it's down to the community.
Yeah.
Having that community support. Like words can't describe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're right behind you, and it's only natural for that to happen, because what I've also seen is like I can actually confirm all of these things, you know, that you're mentioning, and it's good to actually see the insight or hear, you know, the journey that led you to doing that, because I just see you where you are right now, doing purpose and making a difference.
Yeah.
But it's like the journey that you that led you down there caused you to kind of like see your way through of how you can use what worked for you to also help other people as well.
But that's why I'm so passionate about working with children with special educational needs, or those who have neurodisabilities, because I was on a similar platform to them growing up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't got diagnosis or anything, but I was cognitively and intellectually. I said it all right. I said it all right. I struggled.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with certain strategies in place to support me, I've overcome. I've got 2 degrees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've now got a national award-winning company. Do you know what I mean? But that's
feels good to say it now. I've got a national award-winning company. Like, Google me.
But don't get me wrong. I mean, I still do like have the moments of anxiety where, if I'm having to like work sums out in front of people, or have to write something or read something out loud, I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I have the moment of panic.
But that's the thing as well, isn't it? Because it's like, you don't have to be great at everything, but be great at what you're great at in order to make an impact.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's the thing there, because in every aspect that we might be great in one thing, but not so good at the other thing. You know, a good football player might not even be able to cook, you know, but yet Gordon Ramsay can do that, but he can't score goals like Ronaldo.
No, this is it. Everyone's got a specialism.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You need to learn from the specialists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're there for a reason.
And it's just moving to kind of like see the journey that led you to where you are, to have this particular organization where you are helping the youth and making an impact. And now even you've got the nurseries and you working with 7 different schools and so forth, and continuing, and how you've just translated your own experience to kind of be able to make that impact within the community and the community behind you as well. I can see that, because even when I met you, like, it was just like, you know, when one of those people that just stand out, like, and you literally, you just stand out as in like, you are that light, and you just continue to just walk around like that, and just, you radiate like that all the time.
Thank you, mate. That's
you know,
nice.
You stood out because obviously when we done that Nike event and you was there, obviously, I think there was roughly 18 different community groups and so forth, but not everyone had that same energy that you had as well. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You connected with all of us who are the coordinators with it. You know, you was like, you. You'd be like, how you did? You'd come to the next person.
But the thing is, people feed off your energy.
Yeah.
And especially when I'm with young people, my energy's up anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer of children mirror your behaviour, and they do. So if you're low in mood, if you're like, they're going to be like that as well. Yeah. And that comes down to when you're like with parents as well. So sometimes when I work with parents directly, they say to me, for example, Johnny. I don't work with anybody called Johnny, but I'm just giving an example.
Because of GDPR here, so it's just like random.
That's an example.
Or Baba Tunde. Yeah, let's go with Johnny then. I don't want to get no comment stars there. Like, why are you choosing that name? Like, okay, we stick with Johnny. All right, cool.
So Johnny, he's not really engaging well with school. I'm seeing he's gaining a bit of weight now. He's being a bit aggressive at home. So now I sort of say to the parents, okay, what do you do with him at home to keep him active? No, we don't really. Yeah. Okay. What have you done? Not
Nothing.
much.
Like, why do you think he's there then?
Why do you think? Yeah. So again, it comes down to the early intervention part. If you put this we call them foundations, the building blocks. If they were down at the first place,
you'd be in a much better position.
But saying that, Greg, is sometimes parents don't know that. You know what I mean? So it's my job to educate them. So I don't point fingers at parents. And you should be doing that because if they don't know it, they can't put it in place. Yeah. So this is where it's about educating the parents as well.
So what is some of the things, and it's great that you go into that, what are some of the things that you've kind of noticed within your line of work that needs to be addressed that even parents may not be aware of, or just more people need to be aware of as well? Like,
food is a main thing for me, because like we was talking about obesity rates, and like the current stats for obesity, they've got since 2014 it was at 19.1%, and now it's at 21%. So it's going up. It's a gain. Yeah. And every year there's been a gain. Yeah. What we're doing
and
wrong.
what age group is that?
So that's for 10. That's for 10 to. I've just looked at 10 to 11. But it's still a gain, you know what I mean? Even if it's at 0.1%, and it goes up. It's still a gain, you know what I mean? So what are we not doing?
And how is all of this kind of like relating to their behaviours and things like that you've noticed as well with working with these?
So we go back to food. So it's like I said, if parents don't know, this is our place to educate them. And what I come across sometimes is like, we talk about the breakfast, what they have for lunch, what they have for dinner, and they have fruits and cereal and chocolate milk, and you know what I mean. Food contains calories. Everything contains calories. So regardless if you're eating, healthy food. Yeah. It's still got calories
in it. Yeah.
It's all about portion control. But like I said to you before, some parents don't know this. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
And exercise is just a fraction of it. You can do all the exercise in the world, but if you're over-consuming, you're still going to be gaining.
Yeah, at the same time. Yeah. So what are some of the challenges that you're coming against that you've also had to notice in your line of work that maybe people are not aware of? Because remember, like you mentioned, just you being you've been able to, create neurodiversity, within the infrastructures of the foundation of what you've created with activation, and when you're bringing these groups together. And you've also seen an emergence of how they've all interacted with each other. Whereas if you put them in their own different segregated groups, they wouldn't have normally kind of interacted like that. But you've put things in place. But you must have also gone through and faced and identified the challenges, or maybe to you was able to address easily what other people couldn't. Yeah. What are some of the things that you feel? Like
I mentioned earlier, it's the parents being involved with the child.
Okay.
That is, I think that's one of the key things. Parents, carers.
Yeah.
Being involved with the child. They need to lead by example. And it's all good, like obviously you've got parents and carers, they take the child to the sports clubs and you know what I mean, which is fantastic, but they need to schedule some time where they're actually doing it with their kids. Yeah. And it's a really good tool, and like when you've done that activity together, sit down at the dinner table, you can reflect on it. How did that make you feel? You know what I mean? What can we do better next time as a family to improve? You know what I mean? Opens up the dialogue, opens up discussion, opens up reflection time.
And what's been some of the common things that you'd say that like the parents have come to you for, or that you've had to go and address in the schools as well? Things like that. What's the common themes that you seem to get all the time?
So when I work in a community, when I do like private work stuff like this, it's scheduling, it's timing. Everyone's so busy. Do you know what I mean? And excuses, we haven't got time to do that. Let's make the time. Let's make the time.
Yeah, make the time.
So part of what I do is when I go into the family homes, I'll say, right, okay, let's go through your daily routine. Let's look at the
make
structure.
The time for what? Spending more time with their kids. Is that what you're saying? To start,
and to implement the activity time, cooking time.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah.
So basically, it's having more engagement and activity with their kids enables them to now slowly build that relationship to slowly apply these things.
In a nutshell, Greg.
Okay, cool. That's it. That's what I do. Simply Greg.
Simply Greg. Come on now. But I understand, like, parents are busy, you know what I mean? I get that, but at the same time you've got responsibility. Yeah.
If you want the best out of your child, invest it.
And I know it's easier said than done, because some parents may be listening to it, and I do apologise. They're like, we literally haven't got the time. But this is where you need to actually sit down. Okay, what can we take out? What can we reduce on to make that time? Doesn't mean you have to stop anything in your schedule. Even if it's just like 1 or 2 days a week. Do you know what I mean?
Well, half an hour
here. Half an hour here, half an hour there.
Yeah. And what about some of the kind of like behavioural challenges that you've maybe had to address, and the interventions you've put in place, and what were the results you saw?
Wow. Okay, so there's quite, let me think. There's quite a few, I mean, because most of the schools we operate in are special education, or so SEMH schools, so social, emotional, mental health and autism schools.
Yeah.
So a lot of the behaviours are challenging beyond words. Beyond words.
Okay. In what way? Give us some examples.
Because I can't go into too much detail. But you have, especially pupils with autism, they can become very heightened within the environment.
Okay,
so
cool.
Different stimuli.
Yeah, so, sound, slightly different things like,
So some of these are the triggers. And they may have violent outbursts, you may get punched, you may get bitten, spat at.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and this can just be sporadic. They won't say it, like, not saying anything.
There's no warning.
There's no warning. Sometimes you do see a warning, because when you
can see the build up.
When you work with a pupil, they've normally got an educational health care plan, and within that plan there's like some of the outcomes, but there's the triggers as well. Yeah. So you normally you have to take them triggers into consideration. Yeah. You do, because you have to.
When Johnny's acted out,
Yeah, so when Johnny's pacing up and down, that means he's becoming dysregulated, or he's frustrated, or if Johnny's banging his head on the wall, that means he needs the toilet. Do you know what I mean? So this understanding.
And how has it been for you, like seeing that? Was you taken by it, or was it
initially it is? But do you know what? Over the years, I've worked with a lot of clinicians, occupational therapists, speech and language therapists, psychotherapists, and I've learnt so much from them. After I see it as my role, if I'm working with a specific child, I need to know how they're working with that therapist, and how I can sort of take the outcomes which the therapist have put in place. How can I improve them how can I add them to my interventions?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So working with clinicians is for me, it's been life changing. It's really improved my practice.
And what were some of the biggest challenges that you felt that you had to apply within your practice as well?
Okay, so there was one particular pupil I was working with in East London. We were suspecting he was gang affiliated. He come to the school. He was probably having like 10 incidents a day. Wow. So this could be like from verbal abuse or actually physical abuse. It's like 10 a day. So after doing some gradual work from building that, so it was building the rapport. So that's really important. Whenever you're working with children, it's all about building that rapport first. You can't just go in there and expect to deliver your interventions, because they're going to like, who are you? Yeah, so that's most important, is building that rapport with that pupil, gaining their trust, making sure you're listening to them. Because I find sometimes practitioners talk too much and they don't listen to the pupil. And sometimes the pupil won't talk to you for like 3 to 4 weeks.
But you need to be there, be patient.
Knock on the door.
Yeah. Hi.
Give a hi, wave your hand. They acknowledge you. They know you're there. You know that you're showing that you care. You're there for them. So this particular pupil, after we've built the rapport, I found out that he had an interest in cooking. And I've worked with this pupil for 2.5 years now. And he now wants to be a chef.
Wow.
And he's a mean cook.
Wow.
And he wants to be a gardener as well. He wants to grow his own veg.
Yeah.
But that's not just me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Obviously from the support from the team. But that's done. So this is over 2.5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of constant support
and work and structures and foundations that you've put in place.
Yeah. But I'd say with the cooking sessions, it's not just about the food.
Yeah.
It's the reason behind it.
And that's what we're going to go into. So what you can hear, obviously, is Ben Green talking to us about some of the challenging behaviours he's come across, and, you know, the interventions he's had to put in place in order to kind of put support systems in place to support the transformation that these children are going through obviously health and wellness as well, as a medium and a tool that he's using through his company, which is Activ8tion. So after the break, what we're going to do, he's going to tell us more about how to use food now as a means to kind of build meaningful relationships. Yeah. So once, obviously, he's going to tell us some steps on what else we can do in order to build those meaningful relationships. So don't touch that dial. Simply Greg. See you on the other side.
We'll be right back.